My name is Gary. I'm a recovering drug addict, alcoholic, heavy drinker, whatever the hell you want to call it. Okay, so I was thinking about this, and a lot of people. I was talking to a friend today. A lot of people don't like the the branding or you know the category of being put into the category of alcoholic or drug addict. But that's something that I learned at a young age. And it's something I take into my recovery. Let's just take the word addict. Okay? That fits me. That covers everything for me. Because I could take this into food, shopping, sex, alcohol, drugs. I mean, the list goes on. Anything that feels good, right? I take it to a whole different level. How about, I don't know how to balance my life. And the way I balanced my life is through 12 steps. Let's just say we could balance our life. Let's take those 12 steps, right? And let's just say, okay, don't be an alcoholic. Don't be a drug addict, right? Just, you have an addiction or an imbalance in your life, okay? So you have an imbalance in your life. Well, I would say, number one, right? If we have an imbalance in our life, we have to, number one, admit that we have an imbalance, or you can't recover from that imbalance or the wreckage it's creating in your life. Okay? So let's just say I use drugs and alcohol. I don't know how to balance that. So I need to stop doing these things in order to start my road to recovery. Okay? So, number one, I admit that I've got a problem. And you've got to admit to your innermost self that you've got a problem. Number two, I would say you've got to have some kind of power greater than yourself that you can talk to, rely on, go to when you're in trouble. And I think tapping into that power is one of the greatest keys to the recovery process. So number one, you've got to admit that you've got a problem. Number two, you need to tap into a power greater than yourself, whatever that is for you. Okay? That's a personal thing. Very personal. And we'll keep the word God out of it. Just a higher power, a power greater than you. I've done this. I've admitted my addiction problem, right? I have tapped into that power. And the way I tapped into it was get on my knees, get quiet. It's humbling to be on your knees asking an energy or a power greater than yourself, a creator of the universe, however you want to define it. But it's humbling to be on your knees asking, I need some help. Please help me. Okay? Then I would say, start relying on that power by changing things, your habits. And I think changing your habits, number one, admitting you have a problem, getting on your knees every morning and once every night, thanking that power, asking that power through the day for guidance, I think that's a big change in our life, because we've been propelled by self-will. And self-will is good in some ways, but not when it comes to the drinking and alcohol problem. So, or the drug addiction and the alcohol addiction. So, the other thing we need to do is clear away any wreckage that we've created. The way we do that is we admit our faults. So we write a list of things that we've done, and we admit our faults to that great power and to another human being. It's a huge part of the recovery process also. So we write down our faults. Where have we been dishonest in our life? Where have we been selfish? Where have we been afraid? Get that all down on paper. Share about it with another human being. And then ask that power to remove those things from you and direct your attention to what that power would have you be. The next step in that recovery process would be make a list of everybody you've hurt and become willing to amend that stuff. Amend the behaviors, amend the problems that you've created through your addiction. If you watch other videos, I give you all examples of how I've done this. It's not just saying sorry. It's not, if you're banging the neighbor's wife and you get caught by your wife, it's not just saying, hey, sorry about that. It's amending the behavior. It's also trying to put yourself, looking at it from an entirely different angle, and looking at it from the other person's perspective. Living with you. What's it like living with you? What's it like being an ex-wife to some person that doesn't pay child support? Don't be a fucking douchebag. Start kicking it up a notch. You brought children into this world. Start taking responsibility for them. Stop thinking about your selfish ways and your selfish, but I'm not going to be able to drive this kind of car. I'm going to have to get a lesser, live in a worse neighborhood and have a smaller apartment. These are the things that once you start doing these things, your life will start improving. You'll start getting things in perspective. I'm not sitting here telling anybody what to do. These are my experiences. I always paid child support. I know a lot of great people, great guys that didn't for a while. But when they got sober, they were like, yeah, this is fucked up. I need to start paying. And they've got a huge bill, and their wages are going to get attached and this, that, and the other. But you know what? They do the right thing. What's the right thing to do? That's between you and your higher power. What's the right thing to do? And hopefully you find a good friend that's on the same path. We can't get sober and then start creating wreckage, because we're going to end up doing drugs and alcohol again. So those are hard things. I'm going to live in a lesser, my life is going to be less quality, but your kids and your ex-wife's lives are going to be better quality, because you're now doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is helping take care of them. Doesn't matter if she's a bitch. Probably is. You know, living with us isn't easy. You know, that would drive anybody to fucking be a bitch. It sure drive me to be one. I wouldn't put up with a tenth of the shit that I put my ex-wife through. I wouldn't put up with that from anybody. But they did that, you know, for the kids and because they loved us. They had faith in us. They thought maybe we would get better. I really believe what comes around goes around in this world. And it's been my experience that what comes around goes around, good and bad. If I'm living shitty, I've got shitty stuff coming my way. But if I make that turn, and it's not an easy turn to make, because you've got all this wreckage. It's like driving, you know, a school bus full of garbage, right? And you hit the brakes and you got all this fucking garbage just pounding you in the back of the head. But that's temporary. That's temporary. I've got that shit hitting me in the back of the head right now. And my son just passed away from a fentanyl overdose almost 12 weeks ago, almost 3 months ago now. So I'm dealing with that along with wreckage hitting me in the back of the fucking head. And I gotta tell you, and I live in a fucking shoebox here, right? With my cat and my dog. And I'm able to help my kids. You know, they're starting out young in their life. They're, you know, one just had a baby. I've been able to throw him a few hundred here and there. And been able to help my youngest with, you know, he just got a new truck, and been able to help him, throw him a couple hundred here and there. It's not going to make up for, you know, the time I wasn't there and the times, you know, maybe I left them hanging, or the times I just wasn't present in their life. But it's a different way of living, you know. And I'm not patting myself on the back, you know. You know what? Maybe I should, because I'm living a different way, and they see it. They're still, you know, is Dad going to hang on to this, or is he going to take off again? You know, it takes time. You know, and that stuff's hard, because we come out of it and we're like, okay, yeah, I'm juiced up for this thing. I'm going in the right direction, but it's a tough path. You know, we have to realize that the damage we've caused others, the emotional stress, the emotional damage, the tears, the worry, the sadness, the embarrassment that we've caused them in their lives. The people that loved us, the people that surrounded us, that had faith in us, that we let down. You know, my middle son passed away from a fentanyl overdose. I was not sober most of that time. And I was somebody who was sober for 10 years. I had 17 years of sobriety. 7 years I went out. Then went out for a few years, and then I put it together, and I got almost 10 years of sobriety. So I raised them sober. That was like my biggest gift I could ever give to my children, you know, from like the ages of 4 to, you know, teenage years. That's the wheelhouse where they need a parent, you know. But they always need a parent. They always need an old man to bounce shit off of, or, you know, maybe, you know, they need a little extra cash here and there, or, you know, maybe whatever, man, to show up for their life, you know, to show up for your grandchildren's lives. These are the things we don't think about when we're out just, you know, taking care of ourselves. You know, for me, it was like, you know, how much can I get laid? How much money can I acquire? You know, I'm going to play some poker. I want to shoot some pool. I want to see how much money I can make when I'm out drinking and using drugs. I thought about my kids, but I wasn't present in their life, everyday, day-to-day life. I couldn't be. Okay? Not everybody's going to have this, But the ones that do, you know who you are. And this is the recovery process. Then once we start that amends path, amending our behavior, amending our life, now we see, and this takes a few months to put it together. But it happens relatively quickly, a lot quicker than you would know. I'm still way better off than I was, when I got sober. The day I took my last drink and drug, I am so much better off, and I just lost my son. So it's not easy, but my God, the benefits you will reap from this are enormous. It's beyond what you could actually fathom or picture. Have a vision. Have a vision for what you want your life to look like, and then go for that vision. Watch this video over and over. Admit your faults. Admit that you have a problem. If you've been propelled by self-will, get on your knees. You've got nothing to lose. If you don't believe in God, good luck to you. Good luck trying to do this on your own. Grab another human being, and hopefully it's a spiritual one with a lot of patience, that knows the direction you're going and has walked in that in the direction you're going, that's shaken this alcohol and drug problem. Those are the people we need to seek out. People like me that have a lot of experience sober, and I've got a lot of experience fucking up. I've fucked a lot of shit up in my life. My amends to my middle son who just passed away is to continue this way of life. Help people with his story and with mine. Help people that are grieving from somebody, people that have lost their loved one. Maybe I have something to offer. Maybe I could just be there as a person that understands what that broken heart feels like. That's my amends to my son. So I wish he was here today and I could actually make an amends like I'm making to my other two sons, where they could see the progress and they could see Dad's changing. Dad's taking care of his responsibilities in his life. And we don't have to be perfect, but we got to try. We have to try. So, and be helpful to others. Another key to this thing, right? Be useful and helpful throughout the day. Change. That's change. I'm a guy who, I could go through the whole day and be so self-obsessed, even sober, and go, oh my God, there are other people around me. I've been so self-obsessed on this problem that I'm having. My God, there are other people with problems in this life. I hope this helps you. I hope this helps people with this addiction, affliction, whatever you want to call it. So, and it's actually a fun way to live, because once you start doing that writing and that self-discovery, we're funny creatures, man. We're funny people. I talk about it in my other videos. Watch them. They'll hopefully help you. So today, I have to tell you, I'm not sitting here tooting my own horn, but because I've done and I continue to do the things that I've just laid out for you, right? Because I do those things every day on a daily basis. I'm a great employee. I'm a great ex-husband. I'm a great father. I'm a great friend. I'm a great son. I'm a great brother. I'm a great cousin. I'm a good dad to my animals, you know? And my dog just pissed in my house. I didn't beat his ass. I wanted to. But, because I just took him for a walk. Took him for a long walk. He did his sniffing and pissing everywhere on every fucking tree, right? Then I take him in the house and I go to the grocery store. I come back, there's a fucking flood in my living room. I was going to kill him. But, you know, it is what it is. So, it's a fun way to live, you guys. Join my channel, man. Subscribe. This is a fucking cool way to live. Living clean and sober. You know? If you don't want to brand yourself an alcoholic, then don't. You know? It's what I do. Right? I'm not ashamed to say I'm an alcoholic. I'm not ashamed to say I'm an addict. You know? I'm not ashamed. Because once you start recovering, you're not ashamed. But if you're still then you're ashamed. Till the cat's out of the bag and you've gone, you know what? I got an issue here. I'm going to try to clean it up. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to admit I have a problem. I'm going to get on my knees. I'm going to admit my faults. I'm going to clear away the wreckage of my past and amend my behavior and mend my relationships. And then I'm going to help others. And then I'm going to continue the process as I live my life and unpeel the onion. It gets deeper and deeper. So, it's just a new little pitch I did today here. Trying to keep that whole alcoholism thing out of it. But it's the way I don't have a problem identifying as an alcoholic or a drug addict. It's what I am. I overdid alcohol. Drunk drivings and fist fights, and the list of wreckage goes on and on. Yeah. It's crazy. It works. It works. My life is as good as it's ever been. And I'm living in a shoebox. You know? I'm driving I drive a nice truck, but it's a little beat up, but drive a nice truck. Got some nice animals. I got a refrigerator full of food. 2 days late on my rent. Still haven't paid it. They set it up to where you can't pay your fucking rent unless you pay the whole goddamn amount. And I've only got like 70% of it. And I want to go like 5 days and then until I get paid and then pay the rest of it. Motherfuckers, they set it up so you can't do that. I don't know how to fucking get around that, but beg them not to throw me out, I guess. Whatever, you know what? If I stay sober, I know I'm going to be okay, because there's plenty of people that I know that, because I'm not going to, if they take me in, I'm not going to jack their fucking television set or, be shooting up in their bathroom. I got a whole list of people that I could call and say, hey, can I kick it at your place for 4 or 5 days? So I'll put my pets in a care facility for 5 days if I have to. There's options. I don't have to drink over that shit. But I'm sure it'll get rectified fine. That's my biggest problem right now that I'm having. Is finances. It's not easy getting sober. Because we've got I'm trying to clear the wreckage of my past financially. And it's such a big path of destruction. It's going to take time. And I make good money. A lot of it goes out. Plus, I just lost my son. And I owe my parents so much money. They're my first amends. So I pay my rent, my cell phone, my truck payment, and I try to pay them back. And since my son died, I've only made a couple payments to them because I've been flying, and my sister helped me fly, but I can't tell you, I've missed, so much work and stuff. It's just paying my boss back. My boss loaned me money when I left to go identify my son's body. He said, "What do you need?" I said, "I need $1,000. He said, "Okay, here you go." So that's paid off. That was paid off last check, along with another $1,000 bill I owed him. So that's what we do sober. And I'm struggling. But you know what? I enjoy the struggle. You know? I'm doing the right thing. So I know good things are coming. And good things are coming. Good things are happening in my life. They just don't happen overnight. I believe I will be financially secure in 2 years. Like really financially good. If I keep doing what I'm doing. If not, I'm fucked. I'm fucking fucked. I don't give a shit how much money you give me. You know, I've gotten $100,000 checks and gone through them in less than a month. So it's the way I roll when I'm fucking drinking and using. So right now, my checks are very small compared to that 100,000. But I'm finding a way to do it, and people are helping me. I'm not too proud to say, no, don't help me. You know, if someone loans me money, I pay them back. You know, if for some reason I can't make a payment, I tell them, can we push it off another week or two? Doing the right things. Those are the right things to do. People are late on rent all the time. You know, but I know that I'm doing the right thing, and the right things are going to happen to me. I know I'm doing good, so good things are going to happen. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't know, you know, who knows? Fuck. Anyways, you guys subscribe. Subscribe, let's do this shit together, man. We'll do it together. I think it's the only way to go, man. So, is with others. You know, get a pack. You know, we're strong as a pack. You step outside the pack, you get fucking picked off. That's my personal experience. I step outside the pack, I'm fucking boom, I'm done. So it's my experience. Might not be yours, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be here if you decide to do it on your own. And you know, think this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm all right with that. You know, I'm okay with that. But and I will welcome you back. And I will be the first to put up my hand and say, how can I help you? What can I do for you? Because that helps me. So, subscribe. Remember the Impact Foundation. The Impact Foundation, LA.org. It's a great foundation designed to help people. It's trying to grow its wings, and it does it with your donations. Started by a friend of mine named Vicky. She is an Energizer Bunny. She never stops, never sleeps, just keeps going, going, going. Nailed it again, Vicky. So, I love Vicky, and I love her drive, and I love her cause. So, maybe you guys will too if you go on the ImpactFoundationLA.org. If you love her cause, I donated. I donate my time. I help with whatever I can, whatever she needs. All she knows all she needs to do is call me, and I'll be there. So, thank you. Till next time.